welcome to the podcast brought to you by Stasia Surabaya. I'm Putri Melinda and I'm here with my partner.
I am Umar.
So we're so excited to dive into our topic, British Council English Score and Employability Needs. And Miss Adinda, thank you for your kind to visit to Stasia Surabaya. We are so grateful to be with you today and we acknowledge you as the account manager of the British Council English Score for the Indonesian regions. So you have a lot of experience in English language education, both worldwide and in Indonesia. So we're currently studying accounting and management at Stasia Surabaya, one of the private school of economic in Indonesia, and we're interested in learning about your experience. We're adaptable students and ready to complete the globally. Now we are moving on the Q&A segment and my co-host.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Miss Adinda. So maybe before we discuss this kind of podcast, please can you please share your role in the British Council English Score, please?
Of course. Thank you so much. First of all, I'm very, very much happy and excited to be here. Thank you so much for being so welcoming. This is
Yes.
actually my first time ever doing a podcast, so
Wow.
this is very professional and it kind of makes me nervous a little bit. But
You
yeah,
you don't.
guys have been very welcoming and very friendly, so that makes me calm a little bit.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can call me Adinda or Dinda or just Din. And my role at British Council English Corps as an account manager. So my focus is actually I help our partners to unlock the full potential of our tools, English Corps. And it is like an English proficiency assessment. And I focus on building strong partnerships. I ensure smooth onboarding for clients and also promote the benefits of English Corps. So it's all about making English accessible for everyone, making everyone have the courage to speak English and to assess themselves to know their limitations or like their potential in English. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I do at British Council English Corps. Thank you.
Okay, since when do you join the British Council?
I am
Miss?
actually very, very new. I just joined
Okay.
here in December last year. So it's not
Oh.
even 2 months yet, but well, yeah, it's only been a little bit over a month.
Yeah.
So this is very new to me, but
Okay.
before British Council English Corps, I've always like maintained and met clients across the globe. I started as a customer service agent, and all of my clients are from Australia and USA.
Okay.
So English has been like my almost like I talk to my friends. I have my partner in the Netherlands, so he's Dutch. So we talk a lot in English. So English is basically like my second language. It's actually my primary language. So yeah,
Wow.
I'm very excited.
Wow, that's nice actually. And do you have any motivation in, work in this field, or do you have any motivation in learning English, for example, at the very start?
Yes, looking back, I think if we talk about like the first time I ever encountered English is when I remember I was in my first grade of elementary school,
Okay.
and I hated English back then.
Oh, right.
I really hated it. Like I got like 30 out of 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it's like basically just vocabularies, right?
Yeah.
Like what is dining room what is dining room in English? Oh, sorry, what it is in Indonesian?
Ruang tamu.
Ruang tamu, iya.
Ruang makan.
Ruang makan, ruang makan.
Yes, ruang makan. Oh, what is it in English? And like
Sapi itu
yeah,
apa?
yeah, it's
It's
like
the basic
Basic
yeah,
vocabulary.
basic vocabulary.
like basic vocabularies. And I remember there's this one like test, and the question was, what is the English word to what is the Indonesian word to bathtub? And I didn't know that, and I didn't know that it was mandi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, bathtub is like a long one that we know. So I was like, it looks like you can sleep in it, and I remember that I answered that it's tempat tidur mandi. That's that's exactly what I answered, and I hated it. And my teacher back then was like, telling me that it's not correct, of course.
Yeah.
And she was like giving me, that's like my first bad score, and I hated that. And ever since that, I want to like prove myself that, you know what, this is not going to be my fate, and I want to be able to speak English. And then my motivation as well
Okay.
is that on the third grade, I actually had like Indovision. Do you know
Yeah,
that?
innovation.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Indovision.
Indovision, and I was exposed to like Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of like movies and like
Yeah.
what is it, TV shows, cartoons in English, and I was like, oh, in Disney Channel you have Wizards of Waverly Place. I'm not really sure if you're familiar with it, but it's like a TV shows for like there's like Selena Gomez.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Selena
yeah. We
Gomez.
know that.
And I
yeah.
was so immersed by her beauty, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe if I got the chance to like meet her, I need to be able to speak English.
Okay.
And ever
okay.
since that, I always try to speak English, even though I make a lot of mistakes. So yeah, so my English journey has started ever since my third grade.
Wow, that's amazing actually.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, what's the challenge that you feel when you learn English, Miss?
The challenge, okay, I think back then I didn't have a lot of like friends to talk in English.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the challenge. And back then it was a lot of like, I'm not really sure if it's like our culture, and I hope that it isn't.
Yeah.
That a lot of people would like say, that you would get mocked, you would
Yeah.
get bullied.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you would
We've
get
been
like,
through
why
that.
would you have
Yeah.
to speak English? You can't speak Indonesian. Like
This is
people-
Indonesian.
Yeah, right. Like people would like side eye you and
Yeah.
were like, you're so arrogant and all that. That's like that was the challenge that I was facing, and I think a lot of people can relate to. A lot of Indonesians can relate to it.
Yeah.
And then I also went to like an English club community.
Yeah.
English club. English community, English clubs, and then I also did debate and speech and all of that, and I found my own community in English, and
so
that
cool.
motivated me, and yeah, finding your own community is really helpful in your journey to learn English. So yeah, this is really nice.
That's wonderful.
It's wonderful. Okay.
you.
So, the next question.
Okay, maybe we will back to focusing on your role in British Council.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Sorry that we got stuck.
Yeah, that's all right actually. Okay, why do employers need to perceive British Council English scores as a reliable measurement of a candidate's communication skills?
Okay, that's the first question. I think employers value English. I think I'm going to answer that into two kind of like section where
Okay.
why English.
Okay.
So employers value English because effective communication is very essential in anywhere, definitely in any global workforce.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
especially if you want to go to like a multinational company, international companies, you need to have effective communications. And how do you communicate that with one language is English.
Yeah.
And English proficiency allows employees to like connect with clients, to connect with your subordinates or like your bosses there. And if you want to like interact and like communicate and build connection, build rapport, you need to be able to speak fluently in English. And that's where English score comes. So first, why English score? Is that because we're 100% mobile.
Okay.
So you can definitely take your test anywhere. You don't have to go to a certain place. You don't have to manually register yourself to a certain place to take the test. So you can take it at home, and you can definitely use any kind of, it is available on App Store and also on Android Play Store.
Play Store.
Yeah.
Yes, Play Store.
And you can download it. And yeah, we are recognized by a lot of multinational companies as well, and we are recognized by Kemendikbud,
Okay.
Wow.
Universitas Pertahanan,
Wow.
and also if you are in the army, TNI AD, if you want to get promoted
Yeah.
to your job, we also do that with English score.
That's
And
wonderful.
Wow.
we also are aligned with the CFR. If you don't know that, it's a Common European Framework of Reference. So that's for language ability like levels, and we're already aligned to that. And that's like the international standard that you need to have if you want to like let's say go international.
Overseas, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, I think the last thing that I want to also add is that English core is also validated by University of Bedfordshire in UK, CRELA, and that organization also validates IELTS and Duolingo and many other English assessment tests. So we're very accurate, and we are also very accessible for a lot of people.
Okay. So without the British Council English score applies to by mobile phone for the test. And how will advancement in AI and automation influence the importance of English proficiency and assessment for test takers, particularly for stage C students?
Okay, sorry. Speaking about AI, I think, yes, it is very fast-paced. It
Yeah.
is very, sometimes it can be very scary.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
what you need to know with AI and technology is that they still need human contact. They still need human connection. They still need prompts to do something.
Yeah.
They still need data. And where do they get that data? From human. And I think when it comes to like AI, sorry, for this kind of like technology, even though they are very scary, they still need human contact. And yeah, what they don't have is that the prompt that they need.
Yeah.
And in order for us to go like compete with AI, is that we need to also be up to the trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what the strategies in order for us to compete with these AI technologies is that what we need is like listening skills, speaking and reading and writing skills, which in English core we also like have that kind of test
Yeah.
that you can take, and you can assess yourself where in which level that you have. So I'm sorry, I think I'm being sidetracked. Could you remind me of the question again?
So
Sorry.
the question is, how will advancement in AI and automation influence the importance of English proficiency and assessment for test takers, particularly for Stasia students?
Okay, first TSU students, how does AI
Yeah.
work into that? Okay, so in order for I'm sorry, in at English core we also use AI,
Okay.
and in order for students to adapt. So when you go to English core and when you take the test, there's this you will get like a room scan. You will also get like a face detection. So we use our AI to do like security measures. And we also use our AI to adapt the items of the test. So it adapts. So when you, let's say you answer first question correctly and then second question correctly, the better you get, like the more correct answers you get, like the harder it gets. So that's where we use AI automation.
Okay, all right.
To
And
measure how you know the ability of the test taker, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Instead, yeah,
So
for
That's
it's
nice.
for make sure it's correct.
yes, that's
It will be
definitely.
harder if we as the test taker
Yes.
can answer every question
Question.
correctly.
Yes.
It will be get harder, right?
Yes, that's true. So,
Wow.
and also we have like a million different items,
Yep.
different questions. So it doesn't ever, like one user, one test taker will never get the same questions with another student or another test taker. And we always like randomize it. We always like dynamically dynamically change and adapt to the students. So yeah, that's how we use AI to help
Okay.
assess your level of English proficiency.
Wow, that
That's
was so
wonderful.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So about the Indonesian higher education students, Miss Adinda, why does Indonesian higher education also need to provide their students with the British Council English score?
Okay, why higher education needs to have, I'm sorry, why English score for higher education, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's because English score is very accessible. So when you compare English score with other tests like TOEFL ITP or like TOEFL, it's first very pricey, quite relatively
Yeah.
pricey.
Correct.
And also you need to keep paying for taking the test. For each test you need to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with English core, you don't need a room. Uh, Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, with English core, you don't need a room, like a whole big room, so you can take it on your smartphone.
Yeah.
And you can have like trials or like practices before you get
The
the
test.
certificate. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to pay for each test, but you need to pay for like
Okay.
one certificate.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so you can have a lot of practices and you can like assess yourself before you take the actual test.
That's
And
Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay. How many practice we can take?
so for one certificate, you can take like 4 times.
All right.
But in one day, in like 24 hours, you can only take 2.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So sorry.
It's okay.
Before the day, I would highly advise that you only take once if you want to practice
Yeah.
still, and then on the day you can take the test.
Okay.
That's convenient actually.
Yeah, it is very convenient.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and also sorry that another thing is that
Yeah.
with TOEFL and other kind of like local
Yeah.
tests is that the manual work of the admins
Yeah.
is
Okay.
also very like it's a lot. Like you need to manually
Yeah.
register. Like what if you have like 1,200 students,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you have to like manually register each one of
Yeah.
them, and then it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the certificate, you need to take a long time for the
Yeah.
TOEFL or like
Yeah.
the organization to like provide you the certificate. But like with English core, it's very automated. Like it's
Wow.
instant result. Yes.
Wow.
Wow, wow.
So yeah,
Wonderful.
I think that's why higher education would.
Choose.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage higher educations to choose English core.
Okay. That was so interesting.
Convenient.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Miss Adinda, next
Yes.
question is it is about English language skills. Apparently, the question is, could you elaborate on the specific English language skills that significantly influence career trajectories for Indonesian students in multinational corporations, as you said earlier, and what strategies that you should adopt to cultivate these skills?
Okay. So the first question would be.
About
Sorry.
about
About-
English language skills in multinational corporations.
How important it is.
Yeah.
I think definitely in multinational companies,
Yes.
multinational corporations, it's definitely very important. When you go, when you already like graduate or like when you go applying to a job that is like multinational, the interview, I think, so 90% or like 95% of interviews with the multinational companies would be in English.
Okay.
And in order for you to pass that is to be able to speak English
Yeah.
fluently.
Yes.
And even before interview, when you apply for a job, you give your resume or your CV, and if it's in English, I believe that it's more looked at. It's more noticeable. And if you have like your English proficiency level with the CFR, whether you're like C2, C1, B2, B1, it's also going to be a very plus point for your CV and resume. So that's why English proficiency is, I think, is very important. Also, to get past the administration, to get through the interview, and to be able, once you get the job, to communicate with the clients, to communicate with the higher ups, the C levels, if you don't have the ability to speak confidently, I wouldn't say fluently, I wouldn't say like native, but you need to have the confidence in speaking English, and that's when you can actually like stand out in a room,
Yeah.
in a room with higher ups and in a room with like the HR team. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's
Over.
okay.
Okay. A little bit messy, but I think that's all right. Sorry,
That's
everyone.
all right. That's
It's
all
all
right.
right.
But yeah, that's why it is so important when it comes to like multinational companies, when it comes to international, going abroad, and everything. It's very important.
Okay, so you said earlier about the confidence and also the level of English proficiency.
Yeah.
In your opinion, in which at least level we can try to,
Improve.
to improve and to want to join in the multinational corporations? In which minimum level we can join, in
It
your
really
opinion?
okay. It really different. It actually really differs to each company
Yeah.
to the. So every company has their own like requirements, of course. But like most of the companies that I have actually, when I was a job seeker, they would say have like 500
Okay.
of let's say TOEFL or like C1. I think that's the minimum requirements. But again, those are like the levels or like the technicalities. I believe like again, the key is like confidence.
Okay.
Speak
Okay.
confidently, and I think that's like the barrier that I find in Indonesian people, Indonesian students, is that they are mostly we are mostly focused on our mistake.
Yeah.
We are mostly like focused on one word that we
Yeah.
don't know the meaning to in Indonesian, and then we are stuck in that. And we're
Yeah.
like, okay, like we have like a whole lot of context. We have a lot of like subtext that we can actually like take our take an overview from it. But
Yeah.
like when you find one word in English that you don't know the meaning to, and then it stops you, it hinders you, and it kind of like discourages people to learn more or like to read more. But like that's something that you don't have to like worry about, because there are contexts, there are definitely different points, and you don't have to know all of the word
The
and the
exact
meanings to
meaning.
Yeah.
the exact meaning of the word. Yeah. And I hope that can like encourage a lot of people to actually like, just like push through
Yeah.
and just be confident with your English, and don't ever like be worried about making a mistake, because that's where you can learn from.
Okay. So as you say, Miss, could you share your strategies for Indonesian students to improve their skill and be confident speaking in English?
Okay. I personally, I think when it comes to me, I speak from experience, is that um, you can definitely use English in your daily activity.
Okay.
Use it as your primary language.
Okay. So it comes from habits, right?
Yes, definitely. You watch something in English with English subtitles.
Okay.
You don't have to understand everything. You can always go back to it. Like, and you can rewind on
Yes.
Netflix, right? And
Yeah.
then you can always go back to it. But like, read the subtitles in English. That helps a lot. Music in English. And I think in Indonesia, and like with the pop culture, we have a lot of like local artists producing music in English, songs in English. So that's also very helpful for us to actually put our feet in the English, and to make it a habit, as what you said. And don't think of it like something that you have to do. Think of it as something like a door for opportunities for you, that
Okay.
it will open lots of opportunities for you, because it did for me.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
So for the next question, Miss, what are some simply effectively a daily practice for Indonesian students to improve their English in academic and business context?
In academics and business.
Yes.
Okay. And academics, in academics, I would say um, read a lot of books in English,
Okay.
watch a lot of movies in English with English subtitles, um, listen to music in English, converse with yourself. You don't have people, but I am sure you have a lot of friends that you can speak in English with English club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really nice that you have like a community that you can speak English to. Use that community to enhance your English. What else? I think, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and that also goes to like professionals. The key again is being confident. Don't let people mocking you. Don't let people mocking you and saying like "Kamingres." Like,
Coming.
yeah, I learned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that a
Yeah,
lot
I ever heard
actually.
that.
I got that a lot too.
Yeah.
Like you're or everyone like Kamingres, and I was like, okay, so I am, and I want to be able to speak fluently in English. And if that doesn't suit you, then that's okay. I'm gonna find my own community to speak English to speak
Okay.
English, and
Oh,
that's
that's inspiring actually,
Yeah.
right?
Really
Thank you.
inspiring us. So, for the last questions, I would like to ask about what final advice will you give to Indonesian students and professionals aspiring to improve their English scores for better career prospects?
better career prospects. I think is to stay consistent,
Okay.
to keep practicing, even though you make mistakes, even though you have um, nobody, you can practice with AI,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
With ChatGPT, you can do voice notes, so you can actually talk to AI, use English, and staying consistent, keep practicing, use English core to practice because we have a lot of like chances for you to do practices. Assess yourself first. Like if you want to know where you are in your English fluency,
Yeah.
then you can do that. First, you can take the test for practice, for
Yeah.
trials, and then you can see maybe the first trial you get like C1 or like you get like B2, and then you want to go to multinational company, and then you got in the requirement is like C1. So you need to know your goals, set your goals, and then do the test multiple times, as many times that you'd like, and then see that as like a point for you to start. And yeah, basically set your goals, keep practicing, be consistent, and have your community to talk in
Okay, all right.
English.
So we want to move to another question.
Of course.
Okay, can you share your experience to be the account manager of British Council scores?
My experience as, do you mean like before English school?
Yeah, before to be the account manager.
Okay, so before being an account manager, I was in a different industry, but also
Okay.
an account manager, basically like in a client success, customer
Yeah.
success. That's been like the industry that I have had, like client facing. So I started working in 2021.
Okay.
Okay.
That's right during COVID,
COVID.
Yeah,
or
during
like after
COVID.
COVID.
Delta.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
after during COVID.
Yeah, during COVID.
During COVID.
And there's this flyer of like being a customer service agent to clients abroad. So I had clients from Australia, and I had
Wow.
clients from USA and from UK.
Oh wow.
And I was assigned to different clients. And yeah, that's my first ever job. And it's all working from home. And I did that during my college.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I was doing my thesis, scriptsy, and also doing that. And
Wow, that's a lot actually.
thank you. But yeah, it was a lot. But because I really like speaking in English and I really like connecting with people,
Wow.
and that's kind of like it didn't actually feel like a job to me, because like the people that I had there, they're also very nice. They're also very welcoming. I got like training to be able to talk in a professional, in a business way on how to be like a good customer service and to be a good client facing people to be a person. Sorry. And yep, that's my first. And then I went to another industry, and then I got to account manager at British Council. So it's like a, how many years is that? I'm not really, 4 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah,
Three,
four years.
3 to
3 to 4 years
3
ago,
to
yeah.
4.
But my experience is that since I've always had clients abroad, global clients, um, I do believe that English is very, very important.
Okay.
And I would highly advise people to assess themselves to keep practicing to talk in English. And it will definitely help during your interviews when you get to apply to a job. It will definitely help when you face clients that are not from Indonesia.
Okay, so talking about client from not in Indonesia,
Yeah,
from
Asians.
other countries, do you have any, some challenges to do that? And if you do, how do you
To fix it.
overcome that?
Okay. Within my experience or like
Yes.
my work experience, the challenges that I've had talking or like communicating, interacting with people not from Indonesia
Yeah.
are basically the most prominent one is the time zone.
Okay,
Okay, the
so-
time zone.
Yeah, because I've had clients from UK, I've had clients from um, Australia, and the time zones kind of like we had a lot of like meetings from like 6 a.m. and we also had meetings to like 10 p.m.
Wow.
So yeah, the time zone is kind of like is one of the factor of like the barrier. Is one of the barrier, and apart from time zone, is the accent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't only work with people that are native. I also work with people, let's say, from India, from from
Nice one.
Vietnam,
Okay.
Okay.
and also I've had a lot of like interviews with people that are also not native speakers, and accents become such a big barrier as well, because I think with Indonesian we have like a privilege
Yeah.
that our tongue and
Yeah,
our
yeah.
our language makes it easier for us to pronounce English words better than other Southeast Asian countries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when it comes to like other Southeast Asian, SEA countries, it's harder for me to understand because of like the accents.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was this interview that I had when I was like job seeking, and I couldn't understand anything, even though it was with English. So I had to like ask to repeat the questions a lot of times. But yeah, it's an experience. It's like a funny or like a challenge that you
Yeah.
had to overcome. And the way that I overcome it is don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to just like ask to repeat questions. Don't always confirm your question first and then answer. And yeah, as you can see, I have made a lot of mistakes probably speaking here in English, and you don't have like I don't have to like think about it actually, because you understand me and
Yes.
I
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
you.
We do,
And that's
actually.
yeah, and I understand you, and that's the whole point of like conversing. That's the whole point that about communication is that if the communicator and the communicant understands each other, then that's the point. And so it doesn't again, be confident. Doesn't matter if you make mistakes. That's okay. You can always learn from your mistakes. And yep, that's basically it.
Yeah, well, the funny things about sorry
The
for I am
difference.
being racist here, but the funny thing that I have encouraged with Indian people also,
Really?
yeah, back then about 3 or 4 months ago, I had some, some occasion with Indian people online, and at
Okay.
that time I cannot understand
What they say.
everything, every
Every
word
word.
they said. Yeah, and and to make everything easier, we make it more about typing, and yeah, that's
Okay.
Okay.
helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Instead of we should talk to with some good accent they had, and that was a very hard time for me.
Okay,
So,
so
That's actually a very like an experience I think that a lot of
Yeah.
people can relate to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
we
there is.
relate.
But also there's this I think I only found this technology when I work. There's like this AI where you can like transcribe automatically. So
Yeah.
that also helps when you go in like a Gmeet. You can add like an AI to
Yeah,
your
yeah.
Gmeet and then it transcribes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
sometimes the AI also can transcribe a lot of accents.
Yeah, a lot of us.
So yeah, that's actually very helpful to like put
Yeah.
it in writing and
I
also
agree.
using AI and technology to help you communicate and understand each other.
Okay. I
Okay.
agree.
I'm sorry that I cut you off. You were gonna say something?
Oh yeah. So about the different accent, right? We have a probably as a student we don't confident with the other accent like British maybe, and then how this strategy or how your suggestion for us because we cannot understand what they said because the different accent.
Okay, for the accents, for the different accents when it comes to like British.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's always okay to
Okay.
ask
Yeah.
to ask your communicator or like to ask your communicant, the people that you speak to, ask them to like slow down and then confirm your question, which that's definitely okay. And I want you guys to know that even native speakers, they don't always understand each other because
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
accents.
yeah.
Like Americans don't always understand like Cockney and
Yeah.
accents from the UK.
Yeah.
Like that's it's a barrier that a lot of people can relate to and a barrier that a lot of people experience. So ask to repeat their questions, ask confirm their questions again, and answer. And it's yeah. I think that's how you can like overcome that. Don't be afraid
Okay.
to ask again. There's no dumb questions. There's no stupid questions. So yeah, make as many mistakes as you'd like as you have, and learn from them.
Okay. I like
Okay.
that.
I like this suggestion too.
Yeah. Okay. About accent again,
Of course.
Miss Adinda, do you have any preference about accents? Do you
Yeah.
like some accent in this world?
Yeah.
This is the
Um,
fun
I
asking.
okay, that's a really nice question. I don't think I have like a favorite accent,
Okay.
but um, people say that they love French accent.
Oh yeah.
But
The sexy accents, right?
yeah, but like they're to me when they talk French, I think they're
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah.
But when they speak English, I don't really understand. Yeah, so accent, I really like. Um, I think British accent,
Okay.
even though I don't understand a lot. But yeah, I watch
Some movie.
some movies. I wouldn't say I watch a lot of British because I grew up with American
Okay.
accents. So I watch. So that's I think that's what I pick up
Okay.
from childhood. But like British accents, I think is very smart. It makes people,
Wow.
to me personally, it makes people look very smart. Like when you speak
I agree. With it.
British, when you speak British, it makes me feel a little bit intimidated. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah,
Okay.
can I open this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
That's really nice.
That's so interesting about the British accent.
Yeah, of course. What do you guys? What did you guys like? Is it okay if I ask questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your favorite accents?
Actually, British, because I
Yeah?
think that when people talk in British accent, it looks smart. Yeah, I agree with it.
Yeah, it
And
intimidates me.
I think that American is so easy for us to know the accents,
Yes.
and then I think it's more challenging when people talk with me in British accent. So yeah, I think that I like British accent so
Can
much.
you do it?
Maybe I'm not confident with it, but I
Give it to the
tried it.
camera.
Okay, so for sure.
Okay, for sure.
Sure.
But what?
What? A computer.
A cuppa?
A kappa.
How about
Okay.
you?
Actually, back then when I was much younger, I watched a lot of British movies.
Oh, Harry
British-
Potter.
Yes,
Yeah,
Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter.
I watched
Oh,
it
it's
a
Harry
lot.
Potter.
Yeah,
Harry Potter.
and
Okay.
I very like the accents, but not very my favorite because it is so hard
Yeah, yeah,
to
really hard.
understand and to learn that kind of
True.
accent. So I give up on learning on that accent, and now
Understandable.
I only pick Indonesian accent
Okay.
as my
That's
main
fair.
accent.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think my accent is Indonesian.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So,
agree.
Miss, I want to ask you something
Of course.
about uh, some students. Some students is feel afraid to speak English because their accent is like Japanese, and then they will be hate. They will get the hate. They will get bullied
Communities.
about yes,
Yeah.
yeah, about the Japanese accent.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
so what do you think about it? How we can fix the problem of it?
It's such a sad reality that
Yeah.
we live in that when you try to like learn something, you get like knocked down and you get bullied for learning something that's actually very crucial
Yeah.
and very important for your future.
Yeah.
But I think if you can use that mock as your motivation,
Yeah.
prove them, like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, guys. What accent do you have? You have a lot of other people from other countries have their own accents, and that's okay. And make it your identity. If you have like a Japanese accent with Medok
Yes,
English,
yes, yeah,
that's
yeah.
completely really nice, and it shows that you are from Indonesia, and be proud of that.
Okay.
And yeah, you don't have to be native like you don't try to like achieve that.
Yeah.
It's be proud in who you are, and try to just like don't listen to the haters. Don't ever use that as your fuel to even prove them wrong, and then be successful, succeed in your work speaking English with your accent, and then prove them, or like prove to your own self that you can do this, even though they hate you for it. Because again, the important thing, the most important thing is that your work, or like your communicator understands you. And we have a lot of like other people like Vietnamese, Indians. They speak with their own accents, and they're very proud, and they're very confident in what they have to say. And I think that's something that we have to also have. Just be confident, be proud
Okay.
in your accent, because that shows who you are.
Yes, I totally agree with that because
Yes.
the key goals of communication is being understandable,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
definitely, of course. Like, so it doesn't matter. Like, if other people say that, oh, you're
Comingris.
yeah, and you have Medok, you don't,
Yeah.
you don't look like a native speaker, or you
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
because we're not. We're
Yeah.
Indonesian.
Yeah, we're Indonesian.
Yeah, so
As
I'm
simple
not,
as that.
Yeah, and like Indian people are not trying to like
Yeah, to like
having
native-
British
yeah,
accent.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so why do we have to have like a British accent? Why do we have to make that as our goal? We don't. The important thing is that your community, or like the people that you talk to,
Yeah.
understand.
Yes.
So that's all.
So
I agree.
how we can build our motivation to speak in English with the reality, like yeah, Comingris like that.
Yeah, it's. I think it's very. It needs a lot of people. It needs your community. You need your people to encourage. I think we also need like a what is it? Like a structural change as well. We need support from a lot of people, a lot of like organizations. We need support. It's not a one-man show. It's not a one-man thing that we can do. So it needs a lot of collaboration with a lot of people. And just how to put this? With overcoming that, just find your own community,
Okay.
English club. Encourage a lot of other people to join. You have 50 people now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
52. Encourage people to join. To encourage more people to join,
Okay.
and make it a like be proud of it. Be proud that you're talking in English, and
Yeah.
be proud that you have accent.
Okay.
I like that.
And yeah, and it's unique. It's you.
Yep.
It what makes you you, and make it like an inclusive thing with your schoolwork. Make
Okay.
it like your habit. Talk to your community in English. Talk to the people here in English. Incorporate that to your daily activity, and the more people join your community, the more people will understand, the more people will get the benefits.
Yeah.
And the more people will hopefully not hate you for it.
Yeah.
And even though they do, again, don't think about them. You're gonna succeed.
Okay.
Okay. Before we close this
Okay, we're already
podcast.
closing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sorry.
I have a lot of fun.
Oh, me too.
We'll talk more behind the camera.
Definitely,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Before we close this podcast, do you have any final statement for this podcast for this audience?
Yeah, for all our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay. I think because we're talking about English,
Yeah.
Yes.
guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because you are going to succeed. You are able to speak English. You are very brave. You're very strong, and you don't have to listen to other people. Make mistakes, learn from it, and then succeed. Basically, that just be yourself. Don't let any other people
Okay.
don't let any other people talk, let you think otherwise because you're good in your own way. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much. You guys
Miss
have been really
Tinta
nice.
for sharing
Thank
such
you, you're so
valuable
nice too.
insight. Yeah, it's so insightful for us.
Thank you.
And to our listener, we hope you pick up some ideas to help you learn English and to improve your English skill. And remember to always be yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
Always be yourself.
Always be
Make
yourself.
mistakes, learn from it.
Okay, I like the.
I encourage people to make mistakes in
Yes.
English and then learn from it. That's your valuable lesson from your mistakes.
House. I like that. Be yourself.
Yes, be yourself.
Be yourself. So thank you for tuning into this podcast.
Thank you so much,
Brought to you by Stacia Surabaya. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and keep an eye out for more inspiring conversation coming your way. Take care, stay curious, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.